Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, I forgot to
Good
do
evening,
that.
everyone.
Thank you. Usually I do run it.
I'm Laura Schifrin, and I'm chairing the meeting for the planning board this evening, and it is Monday, February 26th at 6:33 PM. And I ask for a roll call vote. Excuse me, not the vote, just tell me that you're here.
Carol Hoffs is present.
Robert Therian, present.
Andrew Shepherd, present.
Laura Schifrin present. And we have some people on with us. So we do have a 6:40 and a 6:50. Yeah, so we've done a roll call. Could you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And as always, I'd like to thank all of our veterans and our first responders, as well as all of our service people all around the world. Yeah, and hopefully they can stay safe. Meeting is being recorded, and you'll be able to see it on the Town of Townsend YouTube channel. I do not have any additions or deletions this evening. So 1.5, we have the minutes of February 12th, 2024 in front of us. And I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of February 12th, 2024.
Is there a second?
I second that.
I would abstain, not being present.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll take the vote.
Carol Hoffs says yes.
Robert Therian, yes.
Laura Schifrin, yes. You can show that Andrew abstained. And let's see, we are, this is just an appointment. So I could start before, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah, John, Mr. Russo's here? Did I have,
Yeah,
one was on first? Oh,
I
152.
thought
yeah.
Stan was on.
Yeah, he was, so, yeah, if he's still with us, we can certainly start anytime.
Well, his screen is just blank now.
He was there.
Is Stan
So-
here for John?
Stan is here for.
Kevin?
I'm here. I'm
Oh,
here.
Stan, okay. Are you here for, which one?
I'm here for Kevin Smith.
Okay,
That's this.
North End Road.
okay, and Kevin's is after, Kevin's is,
I thought it was first.
oh no, it's first.
You know,
Okay,
just so you guys know, you don't, an A&R plan is not a public meeting. You can take it anywhere in your meeting.
yeah,
Doesn't have to
okay,
be at a specific time. So just for future reference.
yeah, okay, so you're up.
Okay.
Stan.
This is, Kevin owns this property that has a house on it, or it's a mobile home, but it's a residence, and it's 26 acres. And adjacent to that, he has the farm stand that they have there, and he wants to just
This is the whole
get the
lot.
farm stand on a separate parcel that on the plan is clearly labeled not a residential building lot, so that he can separate it from the rest of the rest of that 25 acres, because they're trying to do something with a family trust and set that up so that it's own property and it remains in the greater family than just Kevin's name. And that's why they're creating that parcel.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is the one, we
Yeah,
changed the number
yeah.
one.
He has parcel land.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's agricultural. And this map is this area we're talking about. See this here? He wants to
It's just
cut
that
that
piece,
out as a
right.
Are you looking at the locust map, Bob?
I'm referring to the locust map. so-
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what,
Here's the farm
Right.
stand.
And here,
after they chop off the parcel, what we're calling lot one is what's on the locust map that's called remainder.
right. So here is an existing farm stand. So he wants to make this a parcel. It's not going to be ever a buildable lot. And it says right here, agricultural and family use. So it means it can never be used in other than what it is a farm stand
Correct.
or for agricultural purposes.
Won't be a buildable lot.
No.
Mhm.
And that will be permanent on the deed and everything else, so.
So nobody will ever be able to come in and say, I want to build a house on this, because it's a non-form, it's a parcel, not a building lot.
Okay,
And that was agreed, so.
yeah.
I don't have any
I
questions.
don't have any questions. I go by the farm stand all the
Well, I
time
think-
because my daughter lives right down a couple houses down from there. So,
To endorse the A&R.
yeah.
I'll entertain a motion to endorse the A&R plan for North End Road for Kevin Smith.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have a first and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we can sign the plan, right? We can all sign. Okay.
Thank you. Well,
After the meeting, you can do that after the meeting.
Kevin will probably pick it up sometime in the next day or two.
Okay, so
Okay.
if you want to do that after, you can.
Nice to see you, Stan.
You too. Good to be seen and not viewed.
Oh, that's good. I usually use the first sentence of that, but never thought about the last.
All right. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who made the motion on that? I'm sorry.
I moved it.
Andrew,
And
Carol
and I
seconded.
seconded it, yes.
okay, so then next it'll be 23 Shirley Road, John Arugio.
Want me to pull that one up?
Is that
Yeah.
this one here? Is these all copies that need to be
That's
signed?
all the copies and documents behind it, the file.
Thank you.
Let's take care of all of these. This is the 152.
I can just sign that with a pen.
Yep, with a ballpoint pen.
Okay.
Next one coming up.
Should I put the day on or
Yeah,
2/28, right?
it's the 26th,
No.
all day.
Good chance.
You're jumping ahead there.
It's sleepier this
No,
year.
he's done it twice now.
right? Okay, so this one's good.
That one.
Put it over there somewhere.
And this is the one we're gonna talk about next.
Kevin?
Oh, you missed the party. Yeah, we're all done.
Really?
Yep, you can have your signed plan, in fact.
Well, thank you very much, folks.
Oh, you're welcome.
That's efficiency at its best.
Oh, you did everything perfectly.
How are you, Beth? Great. I don't.
Yeah, if my is done, you can take it.
The Mylar is.
Right here, this is the
Done.
Mylar.
You ready to sign it?
Do you have something?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, to the beat.
I'm gonna give it out to dry. All right, thank you very much. Have a good night.
It was a nice thing
Even though- Oh, thanks.
that you did.
This
Yeah.
is just one of a few different things.
Okay.
So, you drying up?
The other plans are all for the departments, right? Okay. This is Stan.
was he on?
He was on.
That New Mexico. I didn't know he was in Colorado. That's good that he did. That saved me the trip. I could have kept working.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good night.
Hey, Kevin.
Hi, Hartley. And you folks ain't gonna rub the band in there, do ya?
Yeah, there you go.
Take that from,
Thank you.
thank you, Andrew.
You can walk.
Yeah, I don't know if it came from this one or where it came from.
Oh,
Thank you.
See you, Kevin.
okay.
How many copies does this guy need?
7.
What do you
The
need?
blue folder. I'm gonna just pass that down. I'll just give it all to. You did all the dating.
I did.
I left that. This is what I do for a living. You
Oh,
know?
here's the paperwork,
Yeah,
the document
and there's
signing.
always one that gets missed. Thank you. Okay, John Arugio,
Hello, board.
you're up. 5 minutes early, but you're up.
Okay.
Can we see you?
No, I don't have a camera. I'm sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so that's in front of us.
Yeah, it's so my current house, 23 Shirley Road, is on 14.65 acres. I have 400 feet of frontage, and I'd like to take 3 acres off for a house lot for my son. It does have a good perk test there. It's on town water. If you notice the plan, my house, it is labeled house. It doesn't say 23 Shirley Road existing house, but the plan is titled 23 Shirley Road, and it is labeled house. Beth had pointed that out and asked if I could get it changed. And unfortunately, my engineer is in Arizona for the winter, and he won't be back for a few months. So I was hoping that the board would accept it like that, because it is, like I said, it is labeled house, and it is 23 Shirley Road. So
So John, just to let you know what we did, just gotta change that to a 2. This has to be a 2. No.
Oh, is that done?
Yeah. We, there's a part of the Mylar that we sign. And so on that, rather than touching your engineered portion of the survey plan, we have added today's date, that the planning board acknowledges Lot 2 existing house number is number 23 Shirley Road.
correct.
So we've noted it, and we're
Okay.
signing that we acknowledge it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Other than that, does anybody else have any other questions?
No, everything looked the way it's supposed to.
Okay. Then I'll entertain,
Can I just make one comment? It did say in the regs that all plans shall be drawn to a scale of 1 inch equals 40 feet. However, it's a policy of the board to waive this requirement without written request whenever a scale is increased for the purpose of allowing the entire plan to fit on one sheet. And in the opinion of the board, there is no loss of information or clarity by such increase in scale. So could you just grant that waiver as a motion and second and vote, please?
yes, can I have a motion to grant the waiver for the scale requirements on
23 Shirley Road.
23 Shirley Road A&R plan?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Roll call vote.
Robert Therin, yes?
Carol Hofstas, yes.
Andrew Shepherd, yes?
And Laura Schiffern, yes. So that's for the waiver.
Yep.
And now
For the scale. Mhm.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the A&R plan for 23 Shirley Road.
I'll make a motion to approve the plan for 23 Shirley Road.
Seconded.
And with that, can we add the note that we acknowledged the house number on the plan? Is that okay? First and
Yes.
second? Okay.
Okay.
No other discussion? I'll entertain the vote.
Carol Hofstas, yes.
Robert Therin, yes?
Andrew Shepherd, yes?
And Laura Schiffern, yes. So we can sign. We don't have to have that note on every single copy, do we? Okay. Nothing else in here?
It was just a
You need to sign this one, I think.
Yes.
This is. Okay,
All right.
John, you are all set and your Mylar is now signed and you can pick it up whenever.
Yeah, tomorrow's fine.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, members of the board, and thanks, Beth.
You're welcome.
Right.
It's a new project.
Okay, awesome. Work session. Oh, thank you. Oh, Jessica's not on tonight.
Oh, yeah, she should be. I just texted her. I said, okay, for 2 minutes.
Okay. 3.2, review and discuss warrant articles for Springtown meeting.
And I put a memo there for you.
You put a memo for me?
I wonder if this is.
Yeah, the memo for the warrant article. So there was the 2 changes, one to the scenic roads bylaw, removing the fees, and removing the fees from the enforcement section.
Uh-huh.
And then the other one was removing the fees from the solar, ground mounted solar installation.
Yep.
And as I emailed all of you, the multifamily overlay district bylaw will not be on this town meeting. And I'm gonna let Jessica tell you about that.
Okay.
Okay, but is that, will there be any discussion at the, April 1st public hearing though?
Not on that, no.
Not on
at this
that,
time.
just on whatever we're gonna do for town meeting?
Yeah, so April 1st will be a public hearing for the zoning bylaw amendment and for all the regulations changes that you've been working on. So, and the fees table.
Okay.
Now, Robert will give you the update from the bylaw review committee.
Right.
There will be two things from the bylaw review committee that will have to also be on April 1st.
Okay,
But they should be both minor, right? I mean, the zoning
Well, there
amendments,
were three.
well, one of them might not be minor.
Say what?
One of them might not be minor, the accessory apartment bylaw.
Yeah. That
Amendment,
one,
proposed amendments.
right,
And then,
it needs more work.
and so,
okay,
Yeah.
why don't I just go to Jessica since she's on,
Mhm.
okay? And that's 3.1 MBTA Communities Compliance Update.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being here.
Of course. All right, so I will, just for any other public members watching or who will watch this too, I gave you guys kind of a little rundown of what I'll be discussing tonight. So I'll start with a brief review of what this new law is, and then I'll recap our efforts to date, and then just talk about a little bit about what we're going to do moving forward over the next few months. So Section 3A of the Zoning Act is a new law that requires MBTA communities to have at least one area zoned for dense multifamily housing. So an MBTA community is one that either houses an MBTA service or one that is adjacent to a community with MBTA service. So Townsend touches Shirley, which has a commuter rail stop, and therefore we are defined as an adjacent community and are subject to this law. The standard that the state set for dense housing is 15 units per acre. So Townsend's requirement is 178 units in total. So the way the math works out, we need a minimum size district of approximately 12 acres. So just to remind everyone, this new law just requires the creation of a zoning district to allow for that type of housing, but not require any building of these units at this time. So Townsend must adopt the new district and bylaw language by the end of 2025, and failure to comply means a community can become ineligible for popular grant sources. So to date, we have had the Montechusett Regional Planning Commission involved through a district local technical assistant grant. So they've been running feasibility analyses to help us locate possible areas in town for where the zoning overlay district might go. And these areas are not known to have other environmental or zoning restrictions such as floodplain, endangered species habitat, aquifer protection measures, and then MRPC has also drafted bylaw language for this overlay district. From the staff and public meetings side of things, over the last year, town staff has met multiple times to review MRPC's map findings to help narrow it down to the current 3 potential areas that aren't known to have these restrictions, any other known building restrictions. We've also provided MRPC with preliminary feedback on the draft bylaw language that they have created for Townsend. And then all maps and bylaw versions thus far have been made available to the public in the land use office and also on the town website. And then in addition to the multiple information sessions at board and committee meetings, a presentation of this MBTA Communities Law was given by MRPC at the November special town meeting, and handouts were provided to residents at that time as well. So one of the handouts at that town meeting presentation included a link or was it a QR code to a survey to gather resident input. So that survey is still open and feedback is being collected for the preferred zoning district of the 3 proposed, and if there are any special bylaw provisions that the town residents would like to see. And so far, we only have 29 responses. I know, disappointing. So moving forward with all of this, the sort of a twofold, the latest DLTA grant just ended at the end of 2023. Help for 2024 has not yet started. We're expecting that probably late March to early April. And then we obviously have had very low resident feedback on all of this. So for those 2 reasons, 2 primary reasons, we have actually decided to move this to the fall town meeting rather than it being put to vote at the annual town meeting in early May. So hopefully over the next few months, we can focus more on community outreach and get more input. So that's my spiel for up to date. I can open the floor up for questions if I can answer them.
So is that where MRPC was giving us assistance under the DLTA grant? Will that continue through trying to get more feedback during this year?
That's our plan. The first round of DLTA application requests is due to MRPC on March 6th.
And so is continuing this particular task being submitted to them again?
It will be, yeah. We'll focus more on the community outreach, and then the bylaw language is as final draft as it can get at this point, until an actual district is selected or chosen. At that point, it will be sort of finishing the Mad Libs to the bylaw language. So we will want technical assistance for that too. And then if there's any more handouts or printing materials or other, public forum presentations, we're looking to gain some more outreach help from them.
Okay. Board members?
Thanks, Jess.
Thank you.
I think at this time where we are, I think we've narrowed down the districts for the town people to review. I think there's more we can do in our own zoning bylaw to add to the district bylaw, the overlay district. In other words, we have the license to include our own zoning on that, our own zoning things that could, we might want to impose. So in other words, the community could say, these have to be a percentage affordable or a percentage elderly, or they have to accommodate many different family profiles, or have buffer zones so they're not seen from the road and things like that, yes, you can do this, but the town would also require these things. So that has always been given to us as a right of the town. So we haven't really explored any of those things. And so right now, I think we have an opportunity to look at what already seems to be approved by the MBTA district and see if there are the standards or requirements that we'd like to see there. So it's up to this board if they want to take that on. I think it's worthy of exploring, and We might have, if it ever is going to be built or whatever, we can say that we've considered these other concerns, in the bylaw. So that means any potential developer would have to not only meet what we did with the MBTA district, but what also, whatever the other, what else the community may need or we want. So I think we have a very useful tool there if we want to take the time to work on it.
Jessica, is that permissible to what your understanding is?
Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, you're also residents of town, so any way we can get any type of feedback, or it's more than welcome. Robert, you were, mentioning about different buffers and setbacks, and a lot of that language is already in the draft bylaw.
That's right.
And staff did sort of going through preliminary review of it. We did try to increase some of the setbacks and put in, better vegetated buffer requirements and things. But, with the smallish sized zoning districts currently proposed, and, needing to configure parking and septic and all that, it's kind of squeezed in, so we don't want to make the requirements, 200 feet of dense
No,
wooded.
I agree. We're not able to make absurd requirements, but we can include other standards like architectural treatments and certain open space requirements for animals or for children and things like that, so that it doesn't end up with the developer just doing the most economical, simple rubber stamp thing on the project. So that's what I'm really saying. So I don't envision that the community would deliberately put in bylaws that would make it impossible for someone to do it. However, wherever the site is that we select, the project should relate to that as best as possible and not necessarily be an eyesore or an image that diminishes surrounding property values and things like that. So I think it's an obligation of our board to see what we can do, if anything, to make it, if it's going to happen, the most palatable way it can happen. So,
I think we agree.
yeah,
We agree.
I don't see any problem with that.
So can you just say, right now, Jessica, where, if people are viewing this meeting, where can they find the link?
So
Is it
this link,
front of the town website?
let me look. I know it's on the land use webpage. At one point, a couple months ago, we did put a news announcement with all of this information in it as well. So it can be found a few different ways. And then I believe we also have handouts throughout a few different places in the building. So again, all of those handouts have the QR code that you can just scan with a smartphone.
I think that I got a couple of emails with the link, and that's how I did it. But then you have to be on the email list for the town.
Right.
Right.
I'm sure there's more than 29 people on that list. So
I hope.
maybe,
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there is. I bet you have a couple hundred,
Right.
on that. So if that's the case, then maybe it has to be repeated.
Sure.
I don't know if it was the town clerk that sent it out, or I don't know if it comes from the selectman's office. Yeah, so that maybe with an explanation, you know, if you want to voice into the future, you know, adherence of this new law, then you might want, it doesn't take that long to do the survey. So hopefully that will help.
I had met with Jess at the recommendation of Beth concerning public awareness of what this all is. And I wanted to, I thought that posting stuff on Facebook, people would come across it, you know, have other opportunities to come across it. So I was concerned about my personally doing any of this stuff and without you know, the board's input and, you know what I mean? I had to separate the board from me, and so I was concerned about that, and that's why I spoke with Jessica. So the thing here is, I think we have to use whatever sources to get the public to understand what's happening, and to make a just very factual presentation of what they're going to be asked to consider at the town meeting. And without any personal opinion or judgments or anything else, but explain to them that the significance of this change and why we have to do it. And so what I had thought I would do is prepare a draft, present it to everybody here for their input and review before I did anything. That's just a concept.
Yeah, well, I certainly think, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody could share the link.
That's right. It is public.
If you had if you had a Facebook page and wanted
Right.
to share the link and
Right.
say, hey, by the way, you know, this is
Check
a
this
really
out.
quick survey.
Right.
We'd like the input of residents. You know, they could do that on the Housing Authority has a page.
Oh, they do, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a Townsend
There's,
page. I mean, there's different
yeah,
ones.
there's what's going on in Townsend. There's what's not going on in Townsend. There's Townsend Marketplace. The message is, there's an important town meeting come up. You probably want to be there. And this is the topics and the issues that you're going to be asked to consider. And I don't know how much we have to elaborate on it, you know, and I don't want to personally be expending any of that. So that's what I'm saying. If I take the initiative and prepare a draft of what kind of statement that I can get your input on. And,
Yeah, I think we would all look at it.
Right,
And I think also it has to be succinct. Okay, it can't go, it just can be in bullet form because people aren't gonna read it,
Right.
especially on Facebook.
Right.
But if there's a link, they'll click on the link,
yeah,
you know,
right.
if it's about the
Yeah,
town,
so
it doesn't look
again,
like scam or something.
That's why I'd like to present an approach anyway,
Yeah.
so that you can control me or whatever, not
Yeah,
necessarily
not
control me.
control you,
But
but-
I get too involved in emotional and this stuff, so,
We can help edit it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's the way we should do that.
Okay.
All right.
I get
That's a good
Thank you.
idea.
Question,
All right.
I don't know if it's for Jessica or it could be Lori or Beth. So what is for clarity on the board's role on this going forward, will we be taking a vote prior to town meeting? Will it go to town meeting and the town votes on the three?
We'll do the public hearing.
We'll do the public
We
hearing.
have to
Then there's-
present it.
Yeah, and then there's more, information that will come to us.
Yep.
And then if they've moved to the fall meeting,
Mm.
yeah, we would, and
we'll
then
do the-
decide on a presentation.
Public hearing close in the fall, close
The
to
public hearing is April 1st.
No.
No, that's
No,
gonna be moved.
It's been postponed
Closer
to
to town
November.
meeting. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
So
So
we'll
we
have a
have some
public
time.
hearing
Right.
Yeah,
close to
Which
the
I
town
said,
meeting.
amen.
but the thing about getting the word out and
Sure,
trying to get
sure.
more of the survey stuff, that can be like ASAP.
Sure,
So
sure.
if you
If you
want
wanna
to put
build
something
the-
together, we can, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we can probably plan some kind of schedule, an initial one in 4 weeks or something, and then a reminder as we get
Oh, yeah, I
closer.
think it would have to be like once a month.
Yeah,
I think you have to
just to
keep it
keep
out there.
them,
Yeah, yeah.
keep them on it, and knowing, you know. And again, we have this fall town meeting, and we only have a year left after that,
After
so
that,
we have to really do something.
Sure.
Okay, so,
And to your question about which district is gonna be selected, we're gonna hope for more results of the survey. 'Cause that's one of the
Yeah,
questions in there.
Yeah.
And then there is always the question of, maybe we wanna put all the districts in. So there's still a lot to be going on, so I appreciate
But
that you
that
asked.
decision is ultimately with the planning board, and we recommend it to the town meeting.
Yes, I would say that, wouldn't you, Jessica?
well,
I think
it
so,
is,
yeah, I
and
mean,
then,
every like warrant
because-
article is technically put forward by a department or a board. So I mean, it's something that
oh,
land use department and planning board could present. But zoning bylaws typically will come through planning board, but you can have,
Yeah.
other board support or other staff support as well.
Right, so the decision on the districts will be pretty much by the board.
So I will say, so the
What's the
survey
word?
is being like hosted or run by MRPC, so I don't have every access to the information, but I do know that the 3 districts, it's pretty much a tie right now.
Yes.
That's
oh, no
So
way.
the question is maybe 1,
Well-
maybe 2, maybe 3, or all.
Isn't, that's the question?
Yeah.
1, 2, or 3,
Or all.
right?
Or all of them, yeah.
Or
And so,
not?
I mean, and that's a really good point is if, dense multifamily housing, if a concern is just like completely obliterating the subsurface environmental conditions in one concentrated spot, at least maybe try to spread it out a little bit more too across 3 districts. So you're not having 178 units worth of sewage disposal happening
I
on 12
don't understand, Jess. That's not what I was told.
No, we
How's
could
that?
do 3 districts.
No, we can do 3 districts.
Yeah.
Right? But the density requirement in
Oh.
each district remains 15
same.
units.
Right.
So even
But
though
you
we
would
have
need all-
187 to meet, and we can say, all right, we're gonna do a third here and a third here and a third there, those districts remain expandable to 15 units per acre, whatever the district is. So you may think you met the quota now, but in the future, they could require you do the optimum density on all of the units. So the number of districts you approve now is significant.
Oh, I see what you're saying, that we could potentially, if we did all 3, we'd be on the hook for a
Well,
lot more housing.
Right, the
potentially.
town may think they're doing the right thing, and we're gonna say, we're gonna take 187 units, we're gonna put a third there, a third there, and a third there.
And in the
So
future,
we met the requirements for the number of units. We thought we were helping ourselves by not having high density, and maybe some of the units could be 3-family or 2-family or whatever, or
yeah, I see what you're saying. I see.
different family profiles, okay? So let's say we say, okay, in this area, it'd be nice to have elderly housing, and, those units can be smaller or whatever. And this one, we're gonna allow for a larger family,
It's-
et cetera, okay?
It's,
So then they come back, after we met the requirement, now they come back later and say, well, you have to come up with another 320 units. All
Well,
right?
Jessica's gonna hear, she's just gonna help us with what we have to deal with today,
Okay.
right? So if you have
Does-
anything else.
let me, does the elderly housing, does that count towards the multifamily? Or is it only like affordable housing
It
and
doesn't discuss.
family? For some reason, I thought it was, it didn't count elderly.
Did she hear you?
Can you hear me?
I'm not sure heard you.
Oh, can you
Oh,
hear
no, I
me,
did.
Jessica?
I'm not sure. That's sort of too technical of a question, I think. So I would need to relay that on to MRPC.
Okay, for some reason, I don't know, I have it in my mind that senior housing didn't count, but I'm probably wrong.
We can look into that. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you.
My understanding was from one of the seminars, that the town there was no requirement that the town could use it for affordable or aging or whatever it wanted as well.
I think we don't know, unless anyone knows.
Or wasn't they said that we couldn't, it had to be,
I think
Well-
Jessica said she'll ask MRPC.
See,
right,
So let's wait and see what
that's
Jessica.
important to know.
and I believe when I was reading the bylaw the other day, there is a requirement in there for what they call, it's not affordable housing anymore, I learned, it's a workforce unit. So
Watch
it's,
those words.
and so many of those units have to be for a workforce
Right,
unit.
and whenever they give you a buzzword like affordable or senior or elderly, all right,
Well, workforce.
you have to know that they
They would
have
be
the
discriminating.
What?
That's a lot.
If they use workforce, there's plenty of people that don't work.
Yes.
How are they gonna do
Yes.
that one?
I don't know, but I was reading that and I was just cringing. It's like, why?
Yeah.
But,
Okay,
but anyways, okay.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
Good, thank you. Yeah, so I don't have the answers to these questions, but we'll keep MRPC in the loop once our contract is back up.
All
I
right,
do-
thank you.
All right, I'll just take 1 minute here. When they have these buzzwords like workforce, elderly, senior, okay, affordable, there are legal definitions by those with specific requirements for each one. So even though they sound good, like workforce and for the elderly and whatever, you have to understand what the restrictions are and how much control other people have over that particular kind of thing. So it's not a matter of just feeling good saying it's affordable housing or senior housing. You really have to understand the politics and everything behind it. Anyway,
okay,
I'm done with that.
thank you. 3.2, review and discuss warrant articles for Springtown meeting. That's what you just mentioned before. And that's just those two?
Yeah, just those two, and then Robert will do the update for the bylaw review committee.
Okay, I'm gonna read them for the record. And, anybody who may end up watching. Article 1 will be 145-86, large-scale ground-mounted solar installation, amended 3/28/2017 by special town meeting. Planning board public hearing is scheduled for April 1st, 2024 to discuss changes to the section 145-86 subsection C, subsection 3 to remove the application fee amount. And the second one is chapter, and just for clarification, that doesn't mean that there won't be a fee.
No.
There's gonna be a fee schedule, and it just won't be in the bylaw on how much it is. And then chapter 106, scenic roads, adopted by annual town meeting on May 8th, 2021, Article 18, sections 106-5 fees and section 106-7 enforcement, to remove fees in the bylaw and replace them with the new Appendix E, Planning Board Fee Schedule. 106-7 enforcement.
Yes.
Did we have fees associated with enforcement? I see. Okay. So there you go. In case anybody has that question out there, it's just answered. All right. Then 3.3, review and discuss edits to planning board regulations for consideration at public hearing on April 1st.
Okay, so I just want to say, you didn't get the review by town council back yet on those, so.
Oh, okay.
Other than the 17513, which is the definitive subdivisions, we did get that, but everything else is still sitting with him, so.
So do you think we might have that at the March meeting?
Yeah,
March 11th?
Yep.
Okay, so that'll be them. 3.4 zoning board appeals mandatory referral for Three Wheeler Road.
Alright. So that one, oh, I didn't bring the file, but let me just, oh, okay, the file.
Okay,
You can read that.
and then,
Depending on what's involved, I'll be abstaining, or I'll probably have to abstain from that.
Wheeler Road.
Yeah, Three-Wheeler Road. That's our turkey plant and gravel pit.
Oh,
Is that where you do the turkeys?
It's where we transition the turkeys.
Where you transition the turkeys?
Transition, they pass from one state of matter,
To another state of that.
one state of being to another state of being.
Yeah, I know that transition, like I told you, when I lived out in Rehoboth, the turkey farm, just about 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, and they closed the road
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
and they brought the turkeys from one side of the farm to the,
The Great Migration.
for the transition
Yeah.
to Thanksgiving turkey land.
Yeah.
You get down and pick out your turkey.
Yeah, that's the Yankee style, you know?
They made really good turkey pot pie.
before that, do you want to, I don't know how long it's going to take.
You want to
do
talk
the
about the
bylaw review committee, just
Right,
a quick update.
right. So, they've been focusing on noise, lighting, pretty much, those sections of the bylaw. However, what's surfaced, and I brought this up today, and, the key here on what we're trying to work on with our own bylaw stuff and the common denominator and what they've been putting interest on, is the enforcement component.
Yeah.
And so in talking to town departments and people in town and information from this board and from the bylaw committee, the departments don't want more enforcement. I mean, they're overloaded now. And some of the problems that have generated are because they have more priority things to deal with that's demanding their time. So, for example, they were gonna put the noise ordinance under the enforcement
Board of Health.
of the Shelburne Board of Health. And I'm like, how does it have to do with the Board of Health? Okay. So now the other thing is because the police department didn't want it and the building department didn't want it. And,
Okay, all of us know that.
right.
You
So
came up with a good idea.
I came
Give
up-
them the idea.
all right. So I came up with a suggestion. This town needs an independent zoning enforcement officer who exclusively deals with the complaints that come through the building department,
Okay.
knowledgeable about the zoning bylaw, and enforce it, not just with citation and complaints, but enforcing the fines and penalties as well. And so I got some feedback that, well, we don't have the money for that or whatever. Well, the money's recoverable in fees and penalties. And the money is not there for these town departments to do it either.
Right.
It still is a cost,
Mhm.
all right? And I'm like, what good of all of us doing, spending all these times on making them work better when they're not enforced? Or the people enforcing them are overloaded and saturated?
Did you want feedback from the board?
Yes.
Okay. Cheryl, what do you think?
About the
His
enforcement,
idea.
his idea?
Because enforcement is supposed to happen. It just isn't happening. So, because they're all overworked, is the idea of a part-time enforcement officer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a bad,
Oh, I think it's well worth
yeah,
it.
it's well worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree as well.
I
Good
agree,
idea.
yeah,
Put that in the record. Okay.
Good idea.
good idea, yeah.
From Robert.
Yep.
Okay, next,
Um,
Three-Wheeler Road.
So
Did you give the bylaw review committee update?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. Yep, Three-Wheeler Road is the application right here. It's a earth excavation special permit. You don't have to go anywhere. This is just the
I'll
referral.
just quit.
Okay.
It's a zoning board of appeals application, and basically it's a project that's been going on for quite some time. 2016 it began. The permit was renewed again in 2020, and unfortunately expired October of last year. So it's a new permit. We're treating it as a new
How
permit.
long are the permits?
They can be extended for a maximum of 3 years by the zoning board of appeals. That's it. So we keep extending it,
So in
but,
2020, it got extended
right, and it
to
expired.
23.
Yeah,
Okay.
so this is a new filing. It's an old project, so it's pretty simple. In fact, yeah, this is I don't know if you guys, I put it in your folders, but this is the existing conditions plan and the grading plan.
Well, this isn't something that's going away, right?
No, this is existing, so it's going to be, it's like a renewal, it's just that the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
one
yeah.
expired.
Yeah, yeah. So why?
So you have to comment on it, because there's a special, there's a public hearing
Okay.
by the zoning board of appeals. So you just comment like you would on any other special permit,
Okay.
public hearing. Is this a new entrance being used? I mean, I saw something in here.
New
Yeah, like a new entrance.
Oh.
Yeah, or is it like really old?
Can we go and look at this site?
No, you haven't, but you're welcome to. I mean, yeah, this one here.
When's the public hearing?
March 30th, if we get the filing fee. We're still waiting on part of the filing fee. So,
I
I
don't,
don't remember, was a new entrance somewhere.
I don't believe.
Nope. No, it's old. I thought I saw it I think it was in the narrative, something about it, but.
This is the
Yeah.
transition building that we were talking about.
The transition.
The turkey.
I like that, I guess I like the
Existing.
sound of that transition, it's not so harsh.
Yeah, I
as
think
a
it's
lot
in the
of those.
narrative. Somewhere in the narrative about a new entrance,
Thanksgiving.
but that's the only entrance.
The kind
right?
of gentle and
So
true.
I don't remember, well, obviously I was on 3 years ago and I must have voted or
Yeah,
done something. It must have been, so,
well, this is a ZBA, so you didn't, yeah.
no,
Okay.
I meant, we as the planning board must have seen this in 2020.
Yes, yeah, it went through the same process.
Okay.
Just like your applications go to ZBA and that, so.
Okay, so
it's-
I guess yeah.
You can just do your comment.
We're all set. Any comments from the board?
I don't have any.
I mean, I'm okay with
So
extending the permit.
Yeah.
Extending the permit.
No,
it's-
unfortunately.
Okay,
It's-
I'm in favor of approving the permit since it has to be considered a new permit because they missed the renewal date.
I see.
But
But
nothing
it's
has
already
changed in the
been
business.
reviewed. It's already been reviewed. Has any work been executed? I mean, the
Oh, yeah,
prior.
the project's been in place since 2016. So it's been ongoing.
Right.
for 20
Has any work been, is this in progress?
Yes, it's been continual work.
They're still planning the same work?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, and there is a stormwater management permit on site,
okay.
as well as conservation permits.
All right, if that's,
All kinds of permits.
if that's,
Are they in order?
Yes, yeah. Stormwater, we're waiting on reports.
Okay, well, you're not the only one, so I'm sure.
No, you're not the only one.
2 minutes before the meetings.
Yeah, if they might be in Pasadena.
Oh, all right.
But it's winter and there's really probably nothing
Right,
going on.
exactly.
Like most
Um,
sites.
How, is the board in agreement with them to,
Yeah,
I see no reason not to. Yeah.
All right. Beautiful.
Charlotte, board supports issuing permit for this project? Okay,
okay,
have your permission to sign?
yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely, yes, you go for it.
Ready, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Administration report, you're next.
Oh, okay. Yes, so, I have this section under applications / anticipated applications. 27 Scales Lane is ongoing with the stormwater management request for certificate of completion. 22 Main Street is ongoing, with expectation of a site plan modification. The A&Rs that you did tonight, 152 North End and 23 Shirley Road, are both complete. For 249, 251 Main Street, the application for the UPS store, I did email a communication to the applicant recommending that a site plan drawn by a professional engineer be filed with the site plan review special permit application. So we're hoping to see that. And then,
So she's still never applied
not yet
to this date,
Yeah,
okay.
anticipated, that's under anticipated application.
Okay.
And the other anticipated application is 108, 110, 112 West Meadow Road. The owner has submitted a temporary stabilization plan, and that should be installed over the next couple of weeks. And he should be preparing a major stormwater management permit, which is anticipated probably next month as well. Interdepartmental approvals for for building permits. 152 North End Road, the A&R that you just did. A 14 by 40 addition to the farm stand building. So you're familiar with that. Site visits and compliance, 66 Bayberry Hill Road, stormwater management permit is pretty much inactive at this time. 98 100 West Meadow Road, we're still waiting on a response from the owner regarding earth disturbing activity. And 22 Main Street, I already mentioned. 22 West Meadow Road, we're waiting on an annual stormwater management system annual. 25 Harbor Trace, 5 Turnpike Road, and 94 Fitchburg Road, all are current with their stormwater management monthly inspection reports. Campbell Farm, Three-Wheeler Road, and 27 Scales Lane were waiting for some inspection reports. And so for miscellaneous, I have Bob Garsdale is the new interim building commissioner. He's signed on with the town for 5 hours a week. Tuesdays and Thursdays, he's in town hall. The DLTA was already talked about. The annual town meeting warrant closes March 1st, town meetings May 7th, and the annual town elections April 22nd. Master plan implementation, during the month of February, staff plans to go over the master plan update focus areas in the implementation section. At the last meeting, you talked with the energy committee. We're gonna be incorporating those goals and discussing them again. The goals of other planning documents are also gonna be integrated and examined, and at your March 11th meeting, we'll have a report for the board to go over all of the integration and the goals and that. And then, there is a public comment period open on something called a Coordinated Public Transit Human Services Transportation Plan Update. It's quite an acronym.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I was
Okay.
looking, I started reading it and my eyes started glazing over and it was so many tables and
Ah,
it was tables and tables and it was like, I don't even know what they were trying to get at. I couldn't even understand any of the tables.
Some of this stuff is so.
So that's in the folder.
Useless.
There's a link to the document.
In
That's
job security because nobody understands it.
Right, exactly.
that's all I have for that.
Thank you.
Okay.
And there's some
Correspondence?
other town stuff to read.
Anything? Or is it enough? Do you have?
I have,
Oh.
yep.
Andrew, you're up.
All right, as clerk.
So-
From Pepperell, Massachusetts, zoning, is this the zoning board of appeals? This was a variance request from a Jeffrey and Lisa Cowart. A variance of 2 feet from the required 30-foot side yard setback in order to allow the construction of a new 24-foot by 34.2-foot two-story structure to the north side of the existing home, which will consist of a 24 by 25-foot garage and a 9-foot by 24-foot combination entryway, mudroom, pantry, and laundry room that will access an enlarged kitchen and the second floor addition. The decision, I believe that was the decision. Notice of decision. What's the date?
So they approved that
Yeah,
and
15th of February.
it was just an addition or was it an accessory or
They never said the word
the
accessory, so,
renovation? So it sounds like a big renovation.
yeah, big renovation addition.
Yeah, it's a garage with a
So they
mudroom.
wanted a bigger house than the,
Yeah,
than the
section
allowed.
9/200 and 9/222 of the zoning bylaws.
Okay.
So, we've got notice of decision again from the Pepperell zoning boards. This was from an application from Joe and Barbara Moses for a special permit to allow the addition of a 6-foot by 21-foot farmer's porch on the front of the subject property located at 62 Mill Street, Pepperell, Mass. The date on that. 15th of February.
Was that approved?
Yep. Let's see, Shirley Zoning Board of Appeals, decision of the Zoning Board of Appeals for the variance application of Apple Valley Homes. It's the property owner 3 Old Farm Lane, Pepperell, Mass. Property address is 0 Great Road, Shirley, Mass. Let's see, findings. Zero Great Road is in Shirley Great Road West Mixed Use Zoning District. Applicant has filed with the Planning Board, Conservation Commission for the proposed project and will need to file with the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs and the Massachusetts EPA. Decision, approve a variance of the protective zoning bylaws related to the permitted use. Residential development on a minimum lot size of 80,000 square feet per unit, provided that no more than 25% of the lot may be covered with impervious surfaces to allow for a two-family to be built on each lot at Zero Grade Road, parcel 78A2.
Does it say how big the lots are?
Let's go back to the evidence.
No color.
I'm saying the required is 80,000 square feet.
Was it approved?
This is approved. But it's approved to a variance. As long as, yeah, so it's the approval was residential, so I'll read the whole thing. Vice Chair Gracero made a motion to approve the variance per section 4.13.4 C1 of the protective zoning bylaw related to permitted use zone 2, residential development on a minimum lot size of 80,000 square feet per unit, provided that no more than 25% of the lot may be covered with impervious surfaces to allow for a two-family to be built on each lot at Zero Grade Road. So I don't see where it says how many lots are.
Well,
That's
their
a
minimum is
two-family.
80,000. So it's a 2-acre, approximately 2-acre lot, and they're allowing a two-family and a
Right,
2-acre lot.
so it's 1 unit per acre, basically,
Yeah,
which shouldn't be a parking issue.
All right, so we got another one here. Decision from the zoning board of appeals, town of Shirley. The property owner, special permit application of property owner Gerald and Kathleen DeRoche, of 78 Little Turnpike Road, Shirley, Mass. The owner was also the applicant. So let's see. There was a public hearing on January 8th. The application submitted was from 78 Little Turnpike Road. Public hearing for a special permit for protective zoning bylaw, section 2.10.8, accessory buildings. Accessory buildings shall be allowed only in the side or rear yards. Accessory buildings may be permitted in the front yard, subject to minimum setback requirements upon issue of a special permit from the zoning board of appeals. The applicant would like to build a 12 by 24 garage/shed in the front of the property. Parcel is located 78 Little Turnpike Road. The decision was to approve the special permit for 78 Little Turnpike Road with the following condition: the floor of the garage/shed to be built with a non-porous and non-combustible material. And then the last one, the town of Groton. This was from the planning board, dated February 20th, 2024, to the town clerk. Groton Planning Board will hold so this looks like a notice, will hold a virtual public hearing via Zoom on Thursday, March 14th, 2024, 7:30 p.m. to consider the application submitted by Melissa Robbins on behalf of 119 Partners LLC. The applications are for a special permit under the provisions of Groton zoning bylaw, section 218-9.3b, multifamily age restricted housing. A special permit under the provision of section 2018-7.2 water resource protection districts, and major site plan review under the provisions of section 2218-2.5. The proposed project is for the construction of 24 age-restricted housing units with associated parking, utilities, drainage, and amenities. 12 of these units, 50%, will be affordable. The subject site is located at 797 Boston Road. So there you go.
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you, Andrew. Under education, this is just an announcement for us, 5.1. Citizen Planner Training Collaborative 2024 Annual Conference is Saturday, March 16th. And 5.2, AGO training on the zoning bylaw amendment process and bylaw filing Wednesday, February 28th, 10 to 11:30. Oh, I would like to do that. I don't know if I can.
Okay, I'll send you the link again.
Yeah, okay.
And there was one more I was just gonna add, I did email it to you all. It's MBTA learning sessions that they're having, they're in the middle of the day, but this one's about, there's a couple of different things, some digital tools, that they've developed for communities to use as they develop their laws. And then another one is about, housing production and school enrollment. So if you have an interest in either of those, from 1 to 2:30 on Thursday.
Okay, you sent that to
In the
us,
middle
you
of the
said.
day.
Yeah, you sent that to us, you said.
I did, and I'm
Okay.
also gonna send it to the school committee, just, you know.
Yeah, that's, yeah, yeah.
Everybody kind of talking
Information.
about MBTA
right.
community.
Okay, does anybody else have anything else to bring up? No, it's okay. I liked it. Our next meeting is March 11th, and then the following meeting will be April 1st. Hillary,
And March 25th is canceled, I don't know if Andrew heard that.
I don't know if you heard it, but we canceled on March 25th.
All right.
And want to thank everybody for coming tonight and participating. And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn at, I shut my phone off,
So moved at 7:51 p.m.
7:51.
You know, second,
Okay, roll call vote.
Carol Hoff says yes.
Robert Therian, yes.
Andrew Shepherd, yes.
And Laura Schifrin, yes. Thank you.